To speak advanced C1, C2 English, you have to know advanced phrasal verbs. And there's probably more with of than any other. So let's improve our English speaking skills by learning about them in this lesson. Of can mean have an effect on someone. So let's imagine this situation here. Imagine you're looking at a well-behaved room of students in a classroom. Look at the picture on the left. But now look at the picture on the right. Look at this student. They are not behaving in the right way. They are the one bad student in the class. Now, what can happen sometimes if you have one bad student who's influencing everyone else? Well, this can happen. His bad behaviour rubbed off on the class. Look at all the children now. Suddenly, because they're copying this naughty boy, they're all fighting, they're misbehaving, and suddenly it's not a very nice classroom anymore. Can you remember a situation like that? I think most of us can. And the phrasal verb here is rub off. If something rubs off, it means their effect changes someone or something else. And we often use it when we're talking about people's character or personality. If you're around someone for long enough, their behaviour, their ideas may rub off on you. You may become like them. Also, give off. Now, give off is slightly different. Give off is less to do with two people affecting each other, but it's more to do with something giving an effect that you experience. So imagine again a nice field of nice smelling flowers, and it smells really good. And what's happened here is the flowers gave off a beautiful smell. I think we can all relate to that one as well. So they give off a smell. Now that could be a good smell, that could be a bad smell too, if you give off something in that way. Off can mean take apart. And here we mean take a part of something from where it is. Let's start with a very simple example. Bite off. Look at the pizza. There's a bit missing. Looks like someone's been biting it. The hungry man bit off a part of the pizza. That means a part of it has disappeared. It's been taken because the man bit it off. Cut off is when you take a part, but usually with scissors or in a more organised way. Let's think of some curtains. So curtains cover windows. Maybe you bought some curtains and they're too long. What are you going to do? You need to cut a piece off the curtains. That means take apart from them. And take off can be used in a similar way. You need to take a piece off the curtains. But be a little bit careful here, because both take off and cut off have other meanings too. A cut off, for example, can be used as a noun actually when you are saying that something stops. For example, the cut-off for applications is tomorrow. That means applications stop tomorrow. So be careful, they have more than one meaning. Many of these phrasal verbs with of have more than one meaning. Now, an interesting use of is when it means to prevent access. And some phrasal verbs that do this are block off, close off, fence off, cordon off, or seal off. And I think the first example gives you a sense of what we mean here. Have you ever seen something like in the picture, in the bottom left, blocking a road? And we can say this: the road was blocked off by the police. This means they stopped travel with an object. They put something in the road that stopped cars moving further along the road. They blocked it off. And all of these phrasal verbs have a similar meaning, but some slight variations. For example, close off Well, you're more likely to hear close off when we're talking about a building or a particular area rather than a road. It can be a road, but it's more likely to be perhaps in an example like this. The unsafe building was closed off. That means they stopped people from entering it. Do you ever see gardens with these wooden fences around them? Or perhaps even walls around them? But let's imagine it is a fence. So why do these fences exist? It's because people want to keep other people out. So we could say this: many gardens are fenced off. For example, fences are used to prevent access. Here's an example of what that may mean. And cordon off or sealed off have similar meanings, and they're often used when you have a bigger area and perhaps something's gone wrong in that area, like a crime scene, as we say, and the police or whoever it is wants to keep people out of a bigger area. And we could say the area has been sealed off for security reasons. And that means no one can travel in the area. Cordon off, sealed off. Now, I've created another section for verbs that also mean prevent access, but there's something different still about these because these involve some sort of battle. And these are verbs such as fend off, chase off, or fight off. Have a look at the picture. We have a farmer. He's got his fork, but he's using it as a weapon this time because a wolf is trying to get into his farm and the wolf is trying to take his animals. So the farmer doesn't just prevent access here, there's a battle involved. For example, the farmer fended off the dangerous animal, which means he stopped the animal, but he also made it go away. He did more than prevent access. He had to do something more to send this wolf away. Chase and fought off is similar to fend off. The farmer fought off the dangerous animal. But chase off does even more than this, because in chase off, the farmer isn't just stopping the animal. The farmer is actually going after the animal. They're running after the animal to stop them. Or if it's more than one animal, they run after the animals to stop them. So the farmer chased off the dangerous animals. So these all mean prevent access, yes, but there's some sort of battle too. And off is often used when you get rid of something too. Have you ever heard of things being sold off or a sell-off? This means things are being sold, but for a particular reason. The discount is probably a clue. 80% off. That's a big discount, isn't it? Now, why does that normally happen? It normally happens because a shop is closing. And I don't just mean closing today, but they're closing forever. So because they're closing, they sold off the last products because they want them to go. Whoever has the shop wants all the products to go. They want the shop to be empty, so maybe they can sell it to the next people. So when things are sold off, we're getting rid of them. We want them to go as quickly as possible. Now, something sad that sometimes happens in business in some countries is that we have what's called layoff. And layoff is used when staff lose their jobs, like in the picture here. It's not a nice time. So we could say the shop laid off its staff. Perhaps the shop's closing, so the staff are laid off because they no longer can pay for their jobs. Now, payoff, listen carefully to this because it may be different to what you expect. So the shop paid off its staff. So we've got the same picture here, but some money. What that means here is they paid the staff everything they were owed so they could lay them off. So it's the end of their job, and the only way to make the staff go is to pay them everything that they should have. So they paid them off so that they would leave. And you can also use paid off in other situations where you give someone money so that they won't do anything. So they won't do something. So pay off, a bit like bribery. And pull off is different still. Pull off is when you remove something from somewhere. So you're getting rid of it from that thing. You don't necessarily throw it away, such as he pulled off his socks, simply means he took them from his feet. So they're no longer on that part of the body, but he still has them. He pulled it off. It's no longer on that thing. So there are some important meanings of the word off, and there are even more meanings of the word off in my advanced English grammar course. Go to the link in the description below this video if you'd like to know more about that. The grammar course covers a wide range of advanced grammar topics that will help you become a C1 English or C2 English learner. Alternatively, click on the video to see another in the series on advanced English.